and welcome to episode 166 of Heresy Accountability Buddies. My name is Jack, with the host of
Duncan,
Jamie,
and John,
and Dave. The boys are back in town, minus Brian, because apparently he's not a boy.
and you, because you're down in wherever.
Well, you know what? That is a thing. That is a thing. So, with that being said, let's do a quick station identification.
Do you love resin bases? Then go to our sponsor, Elric Hobbies, for all of your basing and basing accessory needs. Use code HERESYABB at checkout for a discount. Legendary Monument Hobbies. Monument Hobbies is a one-stop shop for all of your painting needs. Use code HERESYABB at checkout for a 5% discount on your purchase. Pop Goes the Monkey. Find maker of third-party accessory bits of arms, legs, backpacks, and more, where you can get 10% off your first order over $125 with code HERESYABB at checkout.
And thank you to our patrons. Without you, none of this would be possible. Quick disclaimer, before anybody says, Jack, you sound like garbage this podcast. I do, in fact, sound like garbage this podcast. I'm in the mobile beat labs. So you get on the road, Jack. Actually, I don't even have my camera on. Oh God, I forgot how to do all this. I take some time off, and everything's on fire. Oh, I don't even have a head no more. Apparently, oh wait, maybe I should open this little thing. How do you do that? Oh wait, there I am.
Oh, there he is.
I even look like
Yay.
hot garbage. Yay. So speaking of hot garbage, I feel like I should go ahead and move on to hobby progress because I forgot what was next. I'll kick it off. I bought the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Magic the Gathering card box, something or other, because I love turtles. And apparently you can buy Disney Magic the Gathering cards now. That means theoretically there's a world out there where you could fight a dragon with Marnius Calgar and Leo against
Without
Donald
having the
Duck
One Ring.
and Ekanto. I'm just making up stuff as I go along. So that's my hobby progress. What about you, Jimmy?
So post-Adepticon, I've been really jazzed up the hobby, but I really haven't had anything to do. So I decided to try and do terrain, and I found out I didn't have enough terrain to actually do what I wanted to do, which was a full table of boarding actions. So I've been actually getting STLs to make kind of a cool boarding action table that would be a space prison. How about that? And I've also broke out some old models that I had not finished. So I started a squadron of javelin speeders, and I've been painting on those today. So broke out the old airbrush and found out I hadn't cleaned it, which was real fun, and I had to get almost channel locks to get the needle out. Anyways, how about Dunk?
Oh, hobby-wise, this week I assembled a grand total of 4 World Eaters Veteran Breachers that I'm working on because I wanted to clear my palette from painting so much blue with the Night Lords. And stuff has started arriving for the ever glorious Ultramarines Army. Thank you, Gabe, for sending stuff. Yes, Jamie, I see the box of stuff that you're getting ready to send me as well.
same.
Thank you, John, for the box that you're also going to be sending me. There's a lot of stuff here that's coming in. Kind of neat stuff, kind of different stuff. Honestly, since I've never really paid attention to Ultramarines, I never really paid attention to a lot of the stuff in their ranges, so I don't really know what a lot of this stuff is. But some of it's definitely neat. It's giving me ideas on what I'm going to be doing, and what I am going to be doing is painting Ultramarines, obviously. I picked up another Rhino to throw into this list. from the friendly local when I went to see if the fell blade was in stock yet. It's not there yet, but it'll be there this week. Along with that, I've got, like I said, a whole bunch of these parts and bits that are showing up, and I'm dealing with that. And then to make my life more difficult, this past week, my daughter's car decided to catastrophically fail. That's the easiest way I can put it. It catastrophically failed. It catastrophically failed enough to the point where Thursday she took it in. She got a quote of $600 basically to fix the serpentine belt and other stuff. And that $600 wasn't actually anything that made sense to me, because there's no reason for a serpentine belt to cost $600, even for that in assembly. So I had it taken somewhere else on Friday, and Friday morning they called me and they said that the repairs were over $2,000 because the water pump and the power steering pump and this and that and this and that were all shot, leaking. There was play in this and that, and everything was just basically kaput. I mean, it's a 24-year-old car. I kind of expect it not to last too much longer, but for a good starter first car for her, it did its job. But she still had to go to work. So the options were, and since she works from like 5 o'clock in the afternoon until 4 o'clock in the morning, that kind of sucks, since my wife and I both wake up early to go to work. We wouldn't be able to go pick her up, especially since her hybrid schedule is 2 days work from home, 2 days work in the office. So I unfortunately came to the unpleasant conclusion that the best option for me was to see if she could get a car loan. And she couldn't, because she doesn't have credit yet, because she hasn't built her credit up. So now I've given her my 2017 Escape that I still owe $600 on, that I'm almost paid off on, literally like 1 month of payments away from having it paid off. So I gave that to her. And then I went to the local Ford dealership and I bought a new Escape. I didn't buy a used Escape because used Escapes cost almost as much as the new Escapes. And I felt like an absolute idiot spending that much money and going further in debt. Blah. Anyway, so yeah, I have not exactly had the best past several days. So, but hey, the new car, it runs really well. It sits really nice. And the most important thing to me about having this new car is I got a picture of it with the odometer at 69 miles. So, because I'm a 12-year-old child, and I just had to do it. So yeah, there we go.
Sorry, Doc. I mean, I know we were all pulling for you and everything, but
yeah, it's the best of bad worlds. Everything's expensive these days.
yep.
John, what have you done?
Yeah, so I got all your stuff boxed up, then I got all the Adepticon mailers boxed up. And then I started physical therapy this week for my shoulder. Been having some weird pains when I sleep. Getting old sucks. But kind of cut into the hobby stuff. And then to top it off, they're ripping up my street, so I can't go out at odd times. So I'm having to plan a bunch of stuff around when I can leave and when I can come back. But I did manage to get all the Castellax assembled and swapped out all their ammo chains for the little bendy chains I like to use. Met up with Will Frank locally. He gave me some buzzsaw hands that I needed to replace because I wanted all my guys to have buzzsaw hands instead of the little clampy claw thing. So I got all those swapped out and primed and put on the new guys. And then the Thanatar was fully assembled, got all of its spot colors down. I'm kind of stuck on if I want to do the plasma with just the Tamaya blue, just kind of make it look like the gemstones look on the rest of the guy, or if I want to do the whole whiteout effect thing or not. Mainly because there's not a lot of plasma in the Mechanicum army, like plasma coils. So I don't know if it's that important to do it on this one, or if that's the reason I should do it anyway. But the Thanatar has 2 of those fancy flexible ammo chains. And then I got the bases for the Castellax and Thanatar primed and spot colored and washed right before recording. So hopefully they'll be dry by tomorrow and I can start pinning all these things onto their bases and then go in with the UV resin and set up the muddy effects and then start weathering these guys.
They're looking good from the pictures I've seen.
Thank you.
And the feed belt was pretty fucking badass. No offense. I mean,
Yeah, the Thanatar one came out a lot better than the other guys. The other guys, the chain is so short it doesn't move a lot, and the GW chains have angles that are impossible for real ammo chains.
Yep.
So it was kind of hard to get the Castellax one done, but the Thanatar's got enough give to it that it sways a lot.
yeah, it looks pretty cool. I will say that. It looks really cool.
And that's all I got.
And we have no Bri, so, but we have Jack
No
Jack.
bri.
We have Jack Jack for the first time in a bit, so.
It was only one
I'm in
episode.
one episode. Yeah.
Well, for me, it seems like a while because you weren't at Adepticon, so.
Yeah, that was definitely a thing.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yep, but I think that takes us over to the news.
The news. Do you think we have anything in the news?
I think we have a Bri who's magically shown up. He can tell us all about his hobby progress.
Yeah, Brian, what did you do in hobby?
I've been progressing through those 2 heavy support squads, one with multi-melta, one with auto cannon, the 10 Terminators I've been working on, and I think I finished the Librarian before our last recording, but I've been working on a Thunderhammer, Centurion, and Cataphracti as well. That's about it for Bri.
Okay.
All right. So in the news, we had all the custodian stuff drop for the most part. So next, through going up for pre-order this week and then available to purchase in a couple weeks will be all the custodian stuff.
I have something on the them. So apparently the dreadnought foot is not posable and it's apparently is 5 pieces.
What?
That foot right there. Guy was putting it together and apparently it's the 3 pieces of the foot along with
The heel and
what's
ankle. It's probably the heel and the ankle as well. It's like three parts of the foot, heel and ankle.
And then pads for the bottom that you'll never see because it's on the bottom of the foot.
Well, that's better than the Mechanicum where they just left it hollow so you can't even pin anything.
Or the rust, or what? Not the rust, the Dorn tank that literally they just didn't even put the bottom of the tank on. So
yeah.
Well, yay! Conversion to plastic is hard sometimes.
I will say
resins for that. At least I can pose my feet.
This dread was the only thing I thought to me was a decent price. All the other stuff, I know people said they were much more expensive resin wise, which they were, but some of the prices I was pretty appalled at, other than the dreads.
Yeah, so the dread, if I'm not mistaken, was 120 ish.
Yeah.
Now it's down to 77. The guard squads are now 73.50. You get 6.
Which they're always kind of like, oh, because you used to be able to get them pretty cheap from the what do you call it, Burning of Prospero or whatever.
Yeah,
I mean those are also the older kind of squatter models.
Yeah, and so it does show them here as 6. One of them has a banner and a sword. And listener Michael picked up one of the preview boxes, and it does come with all swords and shields, which is good because if you take a 6-man squad, it does force you to have one of the squad guys to lose his shield to gain the banner. So it's a good thing they give you give you 6 shields and 6 swords.
So if you have 6 of them, you have to lose the shield?
Oh, no, if you take a squad at all, you have to have a banner guy.
Okay, then.
What's the max squad size? 6?
Just for them.
Okay.
No, the max is 10.
Okay. Well, that's kind of weird. I'm surprised they didn't do 12. If a box is 6.
Double checking. No, it is 12.
2 boxes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and I guess you can replace the Signatari Velitas, so you'd end up with 6 swords and boards, and then an extra banner, which is weird.
Okay. But the banner is mandatory for the squad?
If you want to buy it. It's not, I thought it was mandatory before, but it just looks like you have to buy it separately. Whereas the beer guys, next in our list, I thought, the spear guys have swap out to the lose their spear to swap out to a banner for free, and they're 45 points apiece. Whereas the sword and board guys are 40 apiece, and the banner guy is only 30 because he loses the shield.
Okay.
So we also had the shield captain for 43. Again, for a plastic character, not a terrible price. It's a lot cheaper than that resin monopose guy that was out a while ago.
They had
I
two.
actually really kind of like the pose on this one also.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yep.
No, they had two. They had the one that was sitting down on the bench with his helmet off, and then they had the other one.
So the one with the helmet off was a
It was an exclusive.
show exclusive, yeah, for a long time.
Yep.
Then the Vinatari Sodality is probably these ones sold out pretty quick. These ones were also like 100 for 3. Now they're 82 for 6.
Those things are like straight out of Flash Gordon, man.
That's shrinkflation right there.
Dun,
No,
dun,
that's
dun,
not
dun, 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 Flash. Huh?
But
There's
cost
a-
cutting basically in half to get twice the models. That's what is GW doing? That's actually a deal.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean, I know
That's-
these are a lot cheaper, but they're still like a ghastly expensive.
Yeah, same with these. The tank was originally, I saw a post on it today, originally 170 British pounds for the
Now it can be yours for the plastic price of $100.
yeah. Like Jamie's saying, $100 for a tank is still kind of expensive, but compared to what it was, is
Yeah, I mean, it's cheaper. It's definitely cheaper than what it was, but for a plastic tank, and it's like basically Rhino equivalent, wouldn't you say?
Is this the
not Rhino,
transporter
but
or is
Predator.
no, this is their
Well,
shooting.
this is not the transporter. The transporter is 127.
No, the Rhino equivalent isn't out. So there's another speeder that looks really close to this, but it doesn't have a top turret. It's a lot smaller. It just looks exactly like this, but smaller.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's their kind of saber look-alike.
yeah. They
Still
have the
opening
big
up the range plastic for regular stores to carry if they can.
Yep.
And we always figured they were going to expand. They're going to try and put as many armies as they possibly can available in Heresy. So I mean, it makes sense to
Oh yeah,
do it while
it
they
absolutely does.
I mean, like,
And
go ahead, John. Sorry.
I was going to say, you'll see another thing here. So if they've split the two tanks up into different boxes. So the Caladius and then the Caladius Annihilator. I'm jumping between these two pictures because you can see the nose gun changes. Whereas before on the resin, there wasn't a nose gun upgrade. Now it
Okay.
starts with the weaker gun and you have to upgrade it to what that other gun was before.
Okay.
I'm guessing the whole tank's probably on one set of sprues, and then the weapons are on a second sprue,
Likely.
like both the turret and the chin gun.
Yep, that would make sense.
Yeah,
And the Coronas,
yeah,
this thing was like 200 or more,
yeah,
if I'm not
like
mistaken.
220 or something crazy like that. But yeah,
And-
but that's
and it
expensive for a transporter.
It weighs roughly about 27 pounds.
Yeah, they're
in resin.
way
It's
heavy.
ridiculous.
Yep.
I mean,
I've
the
got
thing was
four-
solid chunks of resin, right?
Yeah, you could chuck it at a toddler and take the toddler out.
It was probably only like 5 parts too. Like,
Yeah, I've got 4 resins sitting in my bench. So
Talk to us about the resin Sicarian. That thing was another beast.
yeah.
the
I do
same
not look
thing-
forward to building this with all these little individual separate pieces here, little
Probably-
grav plates and all the other stuff.
They're probably 3 parts. There's like a top, a bottom, and a side for those.
I doubt it. Michael sent me some
John,
pictures of
this
his
one.
sprues.
It's probably a ridiculous number of pieces going into that.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, so here's a blow up of the sprues. This is the Calidus.
Like each one of them is its own little thing.
I think that's still Calidus. That's people.
Yeah.
So it looks,
Okay.
that's
There.
that's a lot of parts.
Oh, thank God for the Rhino. Good old Rhino.
The
Right?
new
Easy, simple,
rhinos are
simple
like
Rhino.
the new rhinos are like 50 some odd parts, dude. Like,
I know, but they're so much easier than that.
well, then that yes, but compared to the old rhinos, even no.
Yeah.
Next time
compared
we'll
to the
make you
old
build a
Rhino.
Mechanicum army and you can build Thanatars and then complain about putting shit together.
No, I'm
Uh,
not.
any of the new dreads, man. Like,
Yep.
I've
The new
assembled all
that's-
the dreads.
Leviathan plastic model is ridiculous.
the Dorado like feed belts, like each link.
That's why I swap them to the movable chains, man. It's only $4. It's worth it. So that's all the pre-orders for this week. Next week, we get Mordheim at home.
Oh boy.
So Age of Sigmar, City of Ash. You get Cities of Sigmar and a Skaven army. They're also coming out with some other. The Bone Reaper guys are getting their own little box. And then Dan Abnett's new The Hive series is coming out. Both book 1 and 2 at the same time in a limited edition collection.
What is that?
It's a novel set in one hive city on one planet.
Yep.
I can't remember the name of the planet, but it's supposed to be very gritty, like.
Living in a hive.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like living in a hive. I mean, I don't know quite how to say about it. It's
Rival gangs, war for territory, rebellion drifts upwards, the darkness of the neg, society teeters on a knife edge.
It's like Necromunda.
yeah, it's like a Necromunda. It's basically a giant Necromunda novel, except
Yep.
two.
During the week, we got another Custody Paint article. So this one's from the community. We got a few different bird guy paint schemes. We've got some Custodian Guard paint
Those
schemes.
black ones.
Ooh, there's some of those that are actually not terribly bad.
I like this
blue
one
and
with the
golden.
kind of verdigris,
It's almost greenish.
something in there. Yeah, some green tones around some of the stuff. Then the sword guys paint schemes.
Eh.
I don't like that black one as much. Then the captain some more.
Eh.
Some dreadnoughts.
That deck right here.
The dreadnoughts are really cool. I like this one, Spear and Iron Warrior.
That would be hard to transport.
Yeah. And one stomping out a word bearer. I like this pose for the spear guy, just like
Kinda
not
like it,
carrying.
Yeah.
You know, that actually is really a nice pose.
Yeah.
Just standing there kind of like at ease guarding. I could dig that.
I hope you can put the spear in the other hands. That way you could have like one on each side of a door or something.
It looks like it. Almost every one of those is only in the right hand, though.
Yep. And then some grav tank paint.
So that's kind of interesting. The purple back there.
Yeah, the black and purple first one looks really cool. The second one got
Yeah,
a little sloppy up in here or something. I think he's trying to put snow up there. But snow on white just looks weird.
It does.
Yeah.
And then some Coronas.
Oh, the reds are kind of cool.
Yeah, this one
Black
specifically
is
with the
really
candy
black
red, where he did some
on
nice
that first
blending.
one.
And that's kind of the opposite almost.
That
Yeah,
black
he went
on the
heavy
first
weathered.
one is really black.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like Vanta black
They-
almost.
Yeah.
It's like sable black or what that
Yeah,
monument
Vanta black.
color. No, they have it's like satin black or something like that. That monument color.
Oh yeah. Then GW announced a new video game called Warhammer Survivors.
Yep.
Do you like
cool.
running around in a circle and shooting things endlessly? I guess this is the game for you.
There's also the Foot of Mork or Gork. Is it?
Yep. And Yarrick will be in this game apparently.
Because he had to come back. Yay, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Coming to PS5, Xbox, Nintendo Switch 1 and 2, and Steam later this year. We had a drop of Black Book pages for the Word Bearers.
Because you two can listen to the word of Lord R.
And for Jack, since you missed last time, we got some new Storm.
Oh yeah.
Starforge stuff for you.
Oh God.
So this one comes with a story. Right now they're running a sale. If you use the keyword Grail, one word, all capital letters, you get this keychain for free if you spend more than $50. So this is the Blood Angels Red Grail keychain. It looks exactly like a red Grail. No dent in the top. It's peeled off. That way they can attach the keychain link there. It's $24.
It looks like a Monopoly piece, like the thimble.
It
Yeah.
does.
With the skull, but
Yeah. And since we didn't get Jack's response last time, I do want to deviate back a little bit.
Oh yeah, yeah.
oh yes.
Is that?
Oh no, that's the cheap one,
I'm
Jack.
sorry.
So it's sanguineous as a necklace. So you see the nice cheap one over here. You want to go for full tilt?
No, not really. Jesus fucking Christ. Is that US?
That is US dollars, yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's stupid.
Yep. Okay, so it's not quite as bad as some of the stuff they've done, but it's
No.
still not good price wise.
There's that one Iron Warriors thing that was like $700 some odd dollars.
Oh yeah, for the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not they start out okay and then they go crazy. I've got some other news. So there's a Kickstarter right now going for Dino Riders. If you want to build an army that can fight my G.I. Joes in 80s style, $15 will get you all the STLs to be able to print both the humans and the Rulons. They only got the one shark head guy pose, not all the other types of aliens they had in the show. It comes with a bunch of different on-foot versions, and then you get a T-Rex and a bunch of the dinosaurs with our armor and stuff on. This is 28mm scale.
We could do
Kinda
Taking
neat.
a Pyrex, or what is it? What is that book?
Oh yeah, Pandarax.
Interax.
So if y'all went to Adepticon and walked by the Warlords game booth, they had this gigantic Nazi death machine set up with a plasma ball in the middle of it.
Oh yes, the
Storm Riders.
Conflict 47 display.
Yeah.
yes, that's what the game was.
Yeah, so they've announced that they're going to be giving out the STLs for this giant walker for free in a couple weeks.
Awesome.
I need that.
So
in my life.
if you want to build giant cool Death Walker, maybe
And cool, we
put
can
some
put
stuff on top of it, or
in it, and then we have like something for an event.
yeah.
Ron foresees the new table.
Daka Store is going to be running a new Kickstarter for a game called War Surge. I thought their basic infantry looked pretty cool for Militia or Solar Ox. Kind of turn of the century British crossed with sci-fi gothicness.
I was gonna say, like, one of them, the one dude on the left looks like a pilgrim.
Yeah. And that'll be STLs coming shortly. Tabletop or TT Combat, not to be content with making one of the worst MDF games or MDF buildings around, has decided they're going to dip their foot into the STL range and they're going to start making 3D printable miniatures in terrain. So they've got basic people for townsfolk. We've got this really cool knight on a burning staircase, a little gothic angel, and then a clock tower type thing. Anvil Industries is coming out with another set of sci-fi bad guys. These ones look a lot like the mercenaries or whatever they were called in that Final Fantasy CG movie.
Oh yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
The helmets a lot. Maybe
Yeah.
they kind of look like fighter pilot helmets crossed with the cog guys from Gears of War.
I'm actually, well, yeah. I mean, they're pretty decent.
Yeah, another modular STL that they're making. Always like to promote modular STL kits if you're building hundreds of infantry. And then War Games Exclusive has come up with a new demon.
No,
I
that's
think
not.
his name is Angry Ben.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not Angron.
Perturbed Ryan.
Slightly miffed Steve.
Angry Ron.
Duncan when he had to buy a new car.
Yeah.
Yes, me when I had to buy the new car.
When he goes into the finance office, yes.
And that, gentlemen, is all the news.
Right then. Well, there's been a lot of stuff that's come out lately. There's been a codex, well, not a codex. There's been a Liber.
A journal.
There's been a journal. And inside the Liber, there's been really 2 armies.
2.5.
1.5? Is it really?
1 3/4. Yeah, it's really weird. You want to do
I'll
the journal
say
first, since it's smaller?
one army, an allied detachment, and add-ons.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a really good way of looking at it, honestly. Let's do the journal first tonight.
All right. So the journal, most people are buying this are going to be playing Space Marines. Only had 1 new unit, which they dropped for free online. So you don't even need to buy it if you don't want. The Whirlwind missile tank for 100 points. You get a armored slot, 12, 11, 10, 5 hull point missile tank. Comes stock with HE missiles, 48-inch range, 1 shot, strength 6, AP 4, damage 1, 5-inch blast, stun 1, barrage 1. So it only scatters 1d6. And for 10 points, you can turn that into Pyrax missiles, 48-inch range, 1 shot, strength 5, AP 5, damage 1, 5-inch blast, panic 1, barrage 1. And then it obviously has all the normal Pinto weapons or hunter killer searchlights dozer blade. Yeah, I think Duncan expressed my thoughts on this exactly. Meh. If you like throwing out long range statuses, I guess it's okay. I don't think that the missile should have been a point cost. Because 100 points already is kind of expensive for
what it is.
Yeah. I would have liked the mine missiles to come back, but GW doesn't like leaving templates on the table.
Yeah.
I have an odd feeling about this tank. And I really kind of hate that I have that feeling.
Okay. Explain.
Okay, the easiest way I can explain it is for 100 points, you get something that can drop, in essence, 2 blasts. One a large blast at 5-inch and one a small blast at
They're both 5.
No, it can drop a second one because you get whatever you want from the middle mount. So you could technically throw a Havoc launcher on there. So you could throw 2 stuns on things, with one of them being barrage.
My problem is this does not compare at all to a Predator. The same points.
Predator's 110, 100?
100. For a Predator cannon and 2 heavy bolters.
We already have Whirlwind Scorpius at home. How is it any different, you know?
It's worse.
If it was cheaper, I think it would probably be better. I think like 75 points, maybe, something like that. And the problem is it takes up that valuable support armor slot that you're going to be sticking Predators or whatever else you want in there.
I kind of hate saying this. As I said, I do like the aesthetic of it. Because I do. I think realistically, if you buy a Scorpius, you might be using those missiles for an Arcus or an Arquois. If you don't already have the old Forge World Arquois turret. But you could take the Scorpius and slap its missiles onto the Arquois and make it functionally look like an Arquois. And then you could take this turret and slap it onto, well, just what it has, and you could then have a kind of neat looking Scorpius. So if you're wanting to do a different looking Scorpius, it's viable. I mean, not a great viable, but I mean, you could.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is a complete and utter letdown. In my mind, I like the way the actual turret looks. I really do. I think it's an awesome looking turret, but I don't think it's worth putting in a list unless you're just wanting to include every single type of Rhino / Predator chassis variant you can get.
Yep.
But it is nice that you can get the regular missile here and also a Havoc launcher. Yay.
So if you have an army, since you're not locked into only having 3 heavy support slots, and you have space for an extra detachment, and you have 100 points that you don't know what to do with,
Predator.
And you don't have any Predators built.
or you already
Well-
have 6 in the army.
Well, okay, like you're building it. This is another Rhino hull, so like, I mean, if you're
It's not
gonna,
as survivable as a Predator either because it's less front armor.
Yep.
I mean, like it's another Rhino hull, so you're like, 8/10 of the way to having a Predator at this point. Like model wise, point wise, it's on par.
So I
Yep.
think that it definitely is a thing that exists. But if I had a spare 100 points that I could throw at anything in my list, I would not be including this.
No.
I'd likely just grab 10 more tactical Marines.
I was gonna say like a Predator, 10 tactical Marines, maybe if you somehow had a support
It's
slot.
a Centurion with Mook weaponry. I mean,
Like
The only thing I can see this doing is
squad. I mean,
staying out of line of sight of like a last cannon squad and throwing down panic or something on them because it's
Done.
barrage.
maybe for like the Night Lords it would be ideal because they had all their stuff chains off of statuses, but like for anybody other than them,
I feel this is a big kind of whiff, and I'm not certain what I was expecting.
It's
compared-
exactly the same Predator as 2.0. Or I'm sorry, it's exactly the same Whirlwind as 2.0. Kind of a meh, why would I take this?
Yeah, it kind of is.
And it was that way in 1.0. Once the Scorpius came out, you never saw
Yeah.
another Whirlwind again.
So it was okay. The Whirlwind was okay in 1.0. It wasn't great, but it was definitely a thing. When the Scorpius came out, yeah, it overshadowed it by far. As it is right now, the Scorpius still overshadows it.
which is saying
Um,
something because I didn't think they were in a great spot anyways.
No,
They're
they
horrible
weren't.
right now.
And they're still better than this.
But that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
The only thing this really has on it is that it's another barrage tank for relatively cheap. So
I'd rather have an Arquiter.
yeah.
I'd honestly, like I said, I'd rather have 10 basic tactical Marines.
But those are Arquois. Aren't those like 200?
He's meaning the Arquiter Bombard.
Oh, no,
150 for an
okay,
Arquiter Bombard.
Yeah, sorry.
And they can take Phosphex shells, which are definitely going to be more hitty than the Pyrex missiles.
Oh
Yeah, but that's a resin kit, not plastic.
It's
True.
one of the last remaining
Right now,
other than the Saber, if I remember correctly.
Yep.
One nice thing about the Pyrex, I will say this. Whereas the HE missiles are stunned, the Pyrex are panic 1. So if you're throwing the Havoc with stun 0 and the Pyrex, you're possibly putting 2 statuses on somebody. I mean, at a flat average leadership on the table of between 7 and 8, I mean, 2 shots at breaking or stun locking a squad is better than 1. So arguably it has a thing. I don't know how much of a thing, but it's a thing.
Yep. Well, don't be too down because there was another unit in this.
Okay, I won't be down.
The Decurion Magna. For 60 points, you can stick this on a Thelblade or a Falchion.
Why does
And
that
it
hurt?
it allows your super heavies to react to non-super heavies. In addition, If you get the suppressed or stunned tactical status, you can auto repair it on a 4-up. Now, what you're thinking is, John, why do I want my super heavies to be able to react to things? Their main gun doesn't work that well. You're correct. But their 2 rapier batteries that are stuck on either side are considered defensive since they're sponsons.
Hold on.
Does that take you over the 25% for a Fellblade at 3K?
650 points for the Fellblade, plus this.
No, it's
Math is
650
hard.
for the Fellblade. No, it doesn't. Okay.
Yeah, you're still safe on taking this in a 3K with a Fellblade.
Ooh.
This, in my opinion, exponentially increases the betterness and survivability of a super heavy.
I like the concept. Making the super heavy able to react to other stuff that's not super heavies seems kind of cheesy, but also kind of neat.
Yeah.
It also makes the Fellblade a lot better if you throw this on there, because unlike other super heavies, it would be able to react, whereas like a Typhon would not, or a Baneblade, or God forbid someone throws down a Warhound Titan in a 3K game.
I almost see this as an auto take.
The Titan can pop
Fellblade.
slow.
Yeah, it can. Man, this one's a hard thing to think about.
I don't think it's game breaking. It's definitely could be beneficial. I don't think it really changes much for the fact that if you're going to counter a Fellblade, you already have to plan on countering a Fellblade, and that's not quite easy to do outside of a couple box case scenarios.
I agree there. It definitely makes the Fellblade or the Falchion more effective, I think would be the best way of doing it.
So for 65 points, you get
60
points. You get to react with defensive weapons.
Yep.
And you get to something with statuses.
You get to remove suppressed or stunned tactical statuses on a 4-up.
Okay. And that's it.
Yep.
Okay.
The status thing is almost not a big deal.
Yeah, because you're not getting it from glancing hits. You're only getting it from weapons that have the
shock.
Yeah. But being able to react to anything that's no longer a Paragon or a Titan or other super heavy, etc. That's nice. That means when you sit there and I fire at it with my the stupid thing that has the Demolisher or the Rapier laser battery array in front of it. My Demolisher. My laser Demolisher.
And you can put this on any super heavy vehicle.
Just the Fellblade or the Falchion?
Not the Glaive.
Not the Glaive.
Why they left the Glaive out? That's a good question.
The Glaive, hold on, which one you couldn't do?
The Glaive is the newest one.
Oh, it's in the main Marine book, but
I mean kit-wise.
Yeah.
The Glaive, it used to be the Glaive was the most anti-personnel of the super heavy tanks.
Right.
Yeah. Now it seems like, because the Falchion's already out and the Fellblade's already out in plastic. It seems kind of like they
not plastic yet. They showed it.
The Falchion's not. Yeah, the Falchion's
right.
that one with the Falchion ironically doesn't make sense to me for being able to buy this. I would have it over the Glaive because the Falchion or the Falchion is the one with those 2 neutron wave cannons.
It's basically an anti-Titan tank, is what that is.
Yeah.
And then
which is why it doesn't make sense to me to have this as an upgrade.
Right. the blade is like the more anti-vehicle one, and the glaive is the
Anti-infantry.
personnel one, which
That blade being the anti-everything.
right. So like the valve or glaive or whatever, kind of surprised it's not able to do it, because it would be most ideal for it.
Yep.
And as John and I just said, the falchion's not out yet.
You're right. The falchion's not in plastic available
It's
yet.
been shown, but it's not out yet. So
Yeah, and the glaive's the one that's been on pre-order.
Yep.
Man, that's a little weird. But okay.
Yep.
And to be honest with you, if you go with LI, there's actually a fourth one that they haven't shown yet.
Yeah, the super flamer.
Super heavy
Yeah.
falchion, basically.
I would shake a puppy for that flame one.
But I wonder how it would work, because it's basically,
Maybe they give that to him.
you can't attack anything but Titans, or other super heavies.
Oh,
Maybe they'll give
just
Thor
because
that.
it looks cool. That's the only reason why I like
Oh,
it.
I know.
Because it
It's
doesn't
just-
look like any of the other ones.
That's fair.
It needs a trailer too, with a big old gas tank.
Absolutely not.
Like
It does not need to look like the Macarius.
Is it the Malkador or the Macarius that has it's basically a World War II alligator?
Malkador.
Okay.
Malkador.
But anyway, so those are the two new units we get, which is
Man.
a Rhino with a new turret and
Right.
A guy in a hatch.
The guy in a hatch.
got you. Okay. And then how many missions did we get in this book?
So there were a couple of special missions. One of them is the charge of the Talacarius. It's one of those, like, you build a special army and you fight the mission. The other one was the kind of the selling point of this book, was called the Leviathan missions. Leviathan missions are a little different. They give both so first you have to determine attacker and defender. Both attacker and defender get completely new apex detachments. For the attacker, their apex detachment is called the Leviathan Armored Fist. It is 3 Lords of War choices. And it calls out that Lords of War selected as part of this detachment do not count towards a 25% limit.
Okay.
And you can only use this detachment for this mission. This isn't a detachment that's free for anybody at any point.
Correct.
Ooh.
But the fun is that it does not replace or prevent you from taking a regular Lord of War detachment as well. So you could have Lords of War from 2 different factions.
Yep.
One that ignores the 25%, and one's restricted to the 25%.
It's only for the attacker. The defender's special detachment, this is an apex detachment, mind you, is called Leviathan Bastion of Fire. It is 3 support choices, one of which is prime.
That doesn't really seem quite as effective as 3 Bellblades, but sure.
Now, obviously, the attacker has a lot of help in this. So to make the missions a bit different, first they recommend that your table has at least 6 terrain features, none of them occupying an area larger than 4 inches by 4 inches. And those should be impassable, that block either impassable or block line of sight, should be buildings of small, medium size. They're controlled by neither player. If desired, you could replace said buildings with medium or heavy terrain. So you're also looking at a table that's fairly empty.
I was gonna say it's very open if they're only 4x4.
That
Yeah.
sounds like way too open.
Like
Well, 6 4x4s, yeah.
the shooting lanes would be like massive.
So there's more.
Okay.
So there's new ways to score in this. One of them is called
This is
sectors. The battlefield is divided up into sectors. Usually it's 4 sectors. It's either quarters, like you're used to, or long quarters. So
Okay.
2 foot, or 1.5, 1.5, 1.5, I think is the math on that. So controlling sectors. Many missions will require players to control sectors. In order to control a sector, a player must have a greater armored dominance value than their opponent in that sector. A player's armored dominance value is calculated by totaling the remaining hull points of each vehicle model that player controls within the sector.
Ooh. Okay. That's kind of interesting.
There's also new secondary objectives. One of them is called Break Their Strength. If at the end of the battle a player has no models with the vehicle type remaining on the battlefield, the opposing player scores X points.
Okay, break their strength seems kind of.
Last Man Standing comes back, and then there's a new one called Overrun. If a player controls any units that have any models within their opponent's deployment zone at the end of the game, the player scores the X. If any of those models are of the super heavy subtype, double the value of X for the secondary objective.
We're on Titan. Run, run, run.
Interesting. From a mission design standpoint, the idea of using hull points for armor dominance really and allowing that to score inside of sectors, that's actually pretty interesting. That really does lend itself to the theory of letting the big tanks come out to play. I really like that idea.
Yeah.
And I think people could really use that as a way to also fluff up regular games using that as something, because I mean, I think about missions in 40 and 30K a lot. Even when we're not talking about this, and I'm bored at work, I just sit there and think about strange things that I could do, stuff like that. So that is something that definitely is something I've never occurred to me before. So I really like that idea.
Yeah. The first mission is going to be a little hard to explain. I sent you all pictures of it. It's called Clash of Behemoths. The sectors, the attacker will deploy on one of the or short table edges, pardon. The defender will deploy on the opposite short table edge. And sectors are 18 inches across the entire way. So you're progressively moving further as each sector goes. The first objective is deployed in the middle of Sector 2, and the last objective is deployed in the middle of Sector 4. So basically, if you're the attacker, you have to go all the way in to get that fourth objective.
Okay.
Those objective markers are only worth 2 points.
Okay.
And then it breaks down attacker's primary and then defender's primary. Attacker's primary. At the end of each of the attacker's turns, that player selects one sector that they have a unit wholly within and scores a number of victory points equal to the number of that sector. If that unit includes any models with a super heavy, they score 2 additional victory points. So as an example, at the end of your player turn, the attacking player has units in 1, 2, and 3. One of those units in Sector 2 includes a super heavy. The attacking player selects 2. They would normally score 2 points, but because it's super heavy, they get 2 additional, so they would score 4. Now, the defender's primary objectives are completely different. At the end of each of the defender's turns, that player scores a number of victory points equal to the value on only objective markers that they control. So they would, because one of the objectives starts in their deployment zone, they're always scoring, and then they can try to break through the oncoming wave to go get the one that's closer to the enemy deployment zone.
Okay.
This is going to be a slugfest.
That definitely sounds like a slugfest. For the attacker
and
to
then,
break through everything, yeah. Okay.
So then secondary mission objectives also break down into attacker and defender. The secondary objectives, both players get last man standing and slay the warlord, each worth 2. The attacker gets overrun worth 4. So at the end of the game, you're scoring the points if you control the sectors.
Yeah.
And then the defender gets break their strength worth 4. So if they kill all the vehicles.
Okay.
So as a
I don't-
defender, you're loading up on stuff to kill vehicles. As the attacker, you're loading up on stuff that moves.
Yeah, I'm actually really liking that. That's
Yeah. You can't throw this willy-nilly into the middle of an event. But if your
No.
players knew you were doing Leviathan missions, you could say, we're playing Leviathan missions. You may be attacker, defender, priest, bring 2 lists.
For an event, yes. For a narrative thing amongst friends in a basement, it'd be all kinds of fun. But
Yep.
for a narrative event, I could definitely see this being like a culminative, like the big final blow-off game.
Yep.
Or whatever.
Like
I
a
think
bag or something.
Yeah, I think that'd be kind of neat.
So that's mission 1. It is the wonkiest. Mission 2 is Rolling Bastions. This one, both players deploy on long table edges like normal. You get 12-inch deployment zones like normal. The sectors are divided like normal quarters that you're used to, with an objective placed in the center of each one. But because this game is wonky, each sector has an objective marker at the center. The value of each objective marker is determined by whether that player controls that objective marker also controls that sector. If you control the sector, that objective marker is worth 3. If neither player controls the sector, that value objective is worth 2. And if your opponent controls the sector, the objective is only worth 1. So it's not just about grabbing objectives, it's about establishing dominance.
That's another interesting way of doing it. So you can
and-
actually hold the objective within the actual sector without holding the sector. So it's possible for both sides to score the same area.
And
Okay.
it's also possible to short your opponent by just edging a unit into their sector and short them a couple
Yeah.
points.
It's
And
all about
again,
ground control.
yeah, and again, this breaks down for primary and secondary objectives are different for each. The attacker's primary, at the end of the attacker player's turns, that player scores 2 victory points for each sector you control. And defender's primary, at the end of the defender's player turns, they score victory points for each objective marker they control. So the defender's looking to push people out. The attacker is looking to take more ground. Secondaries, everybody gets break their strength and slay the warlord, both worth 3. Attacker gets overrun for 3, and defender gets last man standing for 3.
That's mighty interesting.
Yeah. And with the way the deployment zones are, those 2 objectives in the defender's deployment zone are just on the edge of their deployment zone, so you're looking to shoot those as well. I just noticed here that the attacker has an 18-inch deployment zone, whereas the defender only has a 12-inch deployment zone. You're up a little closer than your usual Dawn of War to the map. You're a little more farther forward, but you're the same distance away.
Okay.
I think I like these missions.
I'm really, really enjoying the way these are reading. These are
Finally,
definitely causing some churn in my brain for mission creation.
oh yeah. Finally, break the lines. This is divided up into sectors, and these sectors are wonky as hell. So, sector 1, or each sector is 12 inches up. So, like before, where you had the 4 sectors going the short table distance, this is 12 inches across the long table distance.
Okay.
The attacker's deployment zone is a triangle. 18 inches from the deployment zone, center of the board, you place a dot and then draw that into each of the farther corners.
Okay.
Defender's deployment zone is 18 inches up.
So realistically, you only have 12 inches between the 2 of you.
Yep. It's almost like Dawn of War, but you're taking off some of the movement because of that triangle instead of a normal square deployment zone.
Okay.
There are 4 objectives. The objectives, 2 of them are placed in. They show you a little like where to put them, but I'm going to try to explain it. 2 of them are in the center of the table, 9 inches from the edge of the table. Attacker's deployment zone, one in the defender's deployment zone. The other 2 are 20 inches from the long and short edges on either side of the map. So what you end up with is kind of like a diamond, with the top and bottom points being the ones in the deployment zones.
It's a 45-degree tilted rectangle.
Yep.
Okay.
Attacker's primary. At the end of the attacker's player turns, that player scores 2 victory points for each sector they control. And remember, you're deploying in 2 different sectors.
Yeah.
Technically. Defender's primary. At the end of each defender player's turn, that player scores victory points equal to the value of the objective markers they control. So that means the attacker isn't scoring objective points.
At all.
At all.
Yep.
Secondaries, last man standing and overrun for both players, each worth 3. Attacker has break their strength at 3, and defender has slay the warlord at 3.
Now, I'm going to preface this with the fact that having objectives only for one and not the other is something I have liked and fiddled with before in the past. While giving someone one way to score one thing and someone else the ability to score in an entirely different way. I think that kind of differentiating is definitely something neat and doesn't appear enough.
Yep.
This feels like that a little bit more on steroids. I'm not disliking this one, but of the 3 missions, I think I prefer the first and second. This one's, I think, a little bit different.
Yeah.
Not quite as much my favorite.
I think the wonky deployment zone, especially on this one, and the odd objective placement as well is a little weird.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. I'm kind of I kind of think that the way this was going to work, it's going to be kind of strange because the attacker's really going to benefit from having Vanguard as well in any way they can.
Yep. Yep.
Whereas the defender really won't in some ways, because you're not going to be, I mean, you're not
Yeah,
gonna
Vanguard
score
is just
points
like
when
a
you're filling off the
tangential
tank.
bonus instead of worrying about taking the objective itself.
Yeah. Yeah, this one kind of feels a little odd because it kind of messes with line in Vanguard, throws basically line out the window for the attacker entirely, but makes Vanguard something that's actually worthwhile for the attacker, while the defender doesn't really need Vanguard at all because
Yep.
Vanguard would really not help. So that's weird.
So outside of the missions, there's also these things in the book called battlefield assets. These are a lot like the Cities of Death assets. You remember those?
Yep.
They recommend putting these into missions. Up to 1,500 points, you get 2 asset points for both players. 1,501 to 3,500 is 5 asset points. They recommend putting these on either 40 or 60 millimeter bases agreed to by both players. You can move the markers, but they don't block line of sight. I'm not going to read each one of these. I'm just going to kind of give you a quick synopsis of them. Defenders can take tank traps for 1 point, maximum of 60 millimeters wide, basically impassable to tanks. Armor value 14, 2 hull points. Shroud canister can give, when you trigger it, and you can only trigger it once, gives nearby models, if you're within 3 inches of it, shrouded 4 up, 6 inches of it, shrouded 5 up, 9 inches of it, shrouded 6 up. Neutron bomb is basically, if someone charges, you can try to suppress them instead. There's an auto repair servitor clade that can add auto repair to vehicles. If
That's
the vehicle ends
interesting.
up, only for defenders, if a vehicle ends up within 4 inches of it, they gain auto repair 4 up.
Okay, so you
Uh,
can't just assign it into this vehicle that's over here running
No,
around doing whatever.
it's a 60 millimeter or 40 millimeter base, and then whatever's touching the base gets the bonus.
Okay.
One model gets the bonus, pardon. And the other one is the Wayfinder device. It grants move through cover.
To a tank or anything.
In the effect subphase of the player turn, the player who set up the Wayfinder device can select to trigger it. If they do, select one area of difficult or dangerous terrain that is wholly within 12 inches of the center of the device marker. Models from that player's army are treated to have moved through cover when moving that piece of terrain.
Okay.
So they're kind of neat. I think they add a little bit too much wonkiness considering the way base size is and measuring from the center and all that other crap works, especially with everything else that's wrong with objectives in this edition. Um, but they're interesting ways to spice up the psychoticness of the fairly empty battlefield that you're going to be having if you follow GW's terrain rules.
Yeah. And that's one thing I'm definitely getting as a takeaway from all this is that they are wanting you to play with minimal terrain on these tables for these missions. So, for example, the tables that we all consider to be bog standard, where you've got between 8 and 10 pieces of terrain, varying sizes or more, would not really work very well with these missions.
And I can kind of see why they're doing that. I mean, we talked about GW specifically, like almost every piece of terrain, not just the buildings themselves, is impassable to vehicles. So light and things like that. So with the way they play specifically, I kind of understand it, but at the same time, I almost wouldn't mind playing this on a normal table, depending on the terrain rules and things like that. I mean,
Yeah.
I never had terrain issues with any of the games that I played at Adepticon or saw anybody having terrain issues that wasn't just a 5-minute, hey, you want to do this way? Sure, cool, we'll move on.
Well, John, you had issues where you couldn't get your entire armies on the
I'm
table.
aware of that, yes.
So, actually, reality-wise, the Clash of the Behemoths deployment would actually favor John if he was the attacker because it gives him more deployment.
Yep.
No, because it cuts. Oh yeah, that one does. Yeah, attack Clash of the Behemoths. I was thinking the break the lines. That one's even smaller deployment zone.
Yeah, no, not that one. Not that. I'm really liking these. I think this
Yeah.
is definitely adding some interesting options that we didn't. Well, I know I never considered before.
So I brought this up. I brought these up at our in one of our local chats, and one of the guys noticed this would be a great way, and probably the only way you're going to see Ordinatus in 3,000 points because of that detachment.
I could see that. The fact that they don't count against the 25% limit definitely lets people
Yeah.
throw down some of their bigger stuff. Jack, when's the last time you got a chance to throw down any one of your multiple super heavies in a game?
The first game of third.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, that kind of says it. Everyone wants super heavies. Everyone loves super heavies. They look cool as shit. But you can't really fit them into a lot of games. But games that are
Yep.
themed around super heavies, they're always a fun winner. So
Especially when your objective is to blow them up, as
Yeah.
most of these secondary objectives for the defenders are.
Oh,
And
yeah.
with you getting extra supports, that's more rapiers or that's more heavy weapons teams. It gives you more abilities. I mean, as much as I poo-pooed that Apex detachment, 3 three 10-man last cannon squads would definitely punch a hole in a lot of stuff.
Or Jack's favorite, more tarantulas.
Yep. Think of how many more tarantulas you could fit in the list, Jack.
Yes, please.
Jack's tarantula
If Jack-
edition showing.
If Jack doesn't do it, he doesn't have hair on his butt, right?
Yep, that's what he said. That's what John said to him.
Absolutely what John said to me.
Okay.
So that, gentleman, is the $29 journal. Should we give it a score?
How many pages is this in total?
The total book is 48 pages.
$30.
29.
$30.
$30. Got it. And this
Plus
is
tax.
A B C D E F G. I don't know where G came from or the E.
I mean, realistically, we're looking at how many pages of rules, including missions?
14.
It's the same length as the Forges of Saturn.
Yep. There's
Okay.
some nice pictures of army deployments. There's some decent fluff about tank battles and final push. There's some battles that I've never heard of. I've heard of Paramar and Jaws of Olympia, but there's one called the Alrathan Ridge with Ultramarines in it. Some fluff on the Falchion and the Whirlwind and the Glaive and the Fellblade. And then some really cool, like, super heavy tank company pictures, and then an Ultramarines Fellblade blown up over 2 pages that shows different ways to lay it out and different decals and things. Not nearly enough decals.
I don't remember what I've given the other books at this point, but for 40 pages and $30 with, on average, you say across the books, 2.5 new units per book.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sounds about right.
So the
Saturnine had more units for everybody. Like it had the
Saturnine had-
command squad and the character and the other stuff.
Yeah, Saturnine had a bunch in it, and the what do you call them? The stupid AdMech guys.
Pilgrims.
Yeah.
The Scutari, the Pilgrims.
Yep.
See,
That actually had like a whole army in it.
see, I would argue Saturn 9 had units that should have been in the base rule book already.
Kind of with Jack on that one.
Yeah, I'm absolutely agreeing.
I don't remember what I've given the other books. I'm going to give this a C minus.
I think we gave the Scutari book a solid B.
Yeah, we did. I think we gave it a pretty good score just because it had so much in it.
And I
Yeah,
think
and it had the other units that you didn't have to buy the Mechanicum book if you didn't want to.
Yeah.
And I think we kind of gave Saturnine or the Forges of Saturn a kind of like a D, if I may remember.
I don't remember what we did for the first one. The
Kind of low, I think.
Massacre.
Yeah, it was pretty low.
Based purely on the missions and the fact that I really like the fact that it's given me ideas for building other custom missions going forward. While it doesn't give a lot of new units, I mean, it gives the Decurion thing and it gives the Whirlwind. But the ideas that are now churning in my head, I'm going to permission building for future events like at Adepticon. I'm going to go with a solid B minus. I wouldn't call this a great book, but showing concepts that I hadn't thought of before is definitely a good thing in my mind. So I'm going to go with a solid
change my grade.
B minus.
And I think I did this with one of the last books. I'm going to change it to P for this should have been a PDF.
Ironically, half of this book for units was.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a solid hit.
Yeah, I think you're probably right, Duncan. B minus, C plus, something in there. I do like the missions, reading through them and discussing them.
You
I think
want
we should host Leviathan events, and that'd be kind of cool. But yeah, go ahead, Brian.
You want my rating?
Of
Sure.
course we do.
So 0 to 10, I'm going to give it a B plus.
0 to 10, you're giving it a B plus. Okay.
That's solid right there. That's that new math I've been hearing about.
It's
All right.
not math that you can smoke, but it'll do something for you.
Yep. I know we all remember the exemplary battles that they produced a couple years back.
You mean
when we were
PDFs?
Yep, the PDFs. I remember when each of those included one unit for each side, including the exemplary battle, and typically a mission.
Yep.
This
for free.
for free. And you can find all those translated into second edition and into third edition. And I really liked those. Some of those units were really fun and led to a whole bunch of people doing a whole bunch of things. I feel like this one is good with a star beside it. I feel kind of like these are side graded exemplary battle things, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Okay,
Pull the
I'm going to counter that though.
Go ahead.
The exemplary battles were not well designed in the regard of like you couldn't just like pick up and play that one as easily. That took a lot more forethought versus these Leviathan missions. You can just go, I need an attacker list and I can smash this out and it'll flow better for both players.
I'll agree. I think that the exemplar battles didn't have quite as much balance between them and didn't have as much thought put into them.
And they also didn't have time to breathe.
They did not.
Nope.
This definitely has a lot of thought put into it, from the way the missions themselves are laid out, from what I've read, and the stuff they've included in there. I definitely think that these have had a lot more thought and effort put into them. So there is that as a bonus, which is kind of why I say this almost feels like the exemplary battles, but a side grade to them.
I do want to say this though, reading through these missions, I feel like Derek Wood got ripped off because there's a lot of features in these missions that kind of have the same tone to what he designed for the doubles and quads.
Yeah. Derek, if you're listening, kudos to you, man, because you kind of predicted some of this.
And your
that all
check will
said,
not be in the mail.
no. That all said, still liking this one. So that's 2 in a row that I've really actually enjoyed, this one and the Mechanicum one. So we'll see whenever we get to Larn what goes on there.
Will it be enough to bring Duncan back to the Iron Warriors?
I don't
I
think
can finally use all 5 of my Iron Warrior Sicarians at the same time in the game, though. So there is that.
I don't think Duncan ever really left the Iron Warriors though.
Yeah, I just enjoyed my World Eaters as much as possible.
In his Ultramarines.
Anyway, we've run a little long on this comparatively.
All right, so I will give a quick synopsis of the Sisters of Battle changes from the Talons of the Emperor PDF. Are you ready?
Sisters of Silence.
Yeah, sorry, the Sisters of Silence changes since the Talons of the Emperor PDF. Tell me when you want me to go. I'm done. There was no changes from the Talons of the Emperor PDF for the Sisters. They still get 1 free reaction point, and then there was a minor movement of rules. So the special rules that the Sisters get, the anathema was moved to the front of their PDF instead of being in the back. That was really the only change they got. Yeah.
They did them really. I don't even think they did them dirty. They just didn't do them.
They just didn't do them at all. Yeah.
Yeah.
In 1.0, they had all those options. Even their Acquisitor could take tank upgrades to swap their missiles to a multi-melta. That's gone. All their special units that were in 1.0 are gone.
They got sent back to the kitchen.
Yep.
All right. I don't have this book, and I don't have a PDF of it or anything like that. So I have no way to speak to anything. But if pretty much everything's available is still what the PDF said, this sounds kind of like a significant downgrade for the Sisters as a whole.
The whole entire army entry is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages.
Yep. If anything, it takes up less space than the PDF did.
Oh.
It is I don't know how many Sisters of Silence players are out there, since it was a small army to
A niche,
begin with.
a
But I
niche of a
would
niche
be,
of a niche.
yeah, it was a niche inside of a niche inside of a niche. But I would be very disheartened that my models are going to continue to sit on a shelf until God knows when. I think they're going to turn into like the Dark Eldar back from,
3rd through 5th.
yeah.
Okay. I remember, I think it was one of the last DEFCON events in 1st edition for Heresy. I played against, in one event, I played 3 games, and 2 games I played against people who had nothing but sisters in their armies. And those were fun games.
They're
And
usually
then-
like sisters in the transports.
Yeah, it was
And then-
sisters, transports, more sisters, more transports.
And then
But that's
Karl.
all it was. And yeah, Karl was in both of them.
Yeah.
And then
Sisters
the
with
other
breakout
one,
grenade launchers.
yep.
Grenade launchers are gone. Flamethrowers are gone. Sorry, the heavy flamethrower is gone. The Weber is gone. All of their special weapons are gone. The only thing you get now is 1 sister squad, 4 girls and 1 null maiden for 65 points. You can swap them to bolt pistols. They come with a bolter. You can swap that to 2 bolt pistols for free, which is the Forge World upgrade kit. You can swap that bolter to a flamer for 5 points, or you can swap that bolter to a blade for plus 10 points. And all the rules for the blades and all their stats are exactly the same as it was in the PDF. So they lost their beast catchers, they lost their bodyguard unit, they lost their mid-tier character. They had like a lower tier
They did?
character.
Right.
She's the Knight Centura is still there, and so is Genesia. So they lost the kind of lower of those. And then they lost their jet bikes, they lost their heavy support squads that could take grenade launchers or Webers or whatever. All those are gone.
So they literally lost everything they don't have a model for.
Correct.
Which
Man.
just throwing this out there, that's normal for GW because of the way the IP laws and everything works. That if they don't have plans on doing models for something immediately, they just get rid of them. Or if they don't have a model for it that they have and they had rules for it, they get rid of it because it goes back to the chapter house thing. But
Oh,
Yeah.
They can't litigate against it.
I completely
I think they
understand.
The units that got axed, some of the like militia picked up the Beastmaster unit and some other
Yeah.
stuff, so that you could port your sister's army over to a militia army with some swaps and changes. Not terribly. I guess we could also cover the changes that were done to the assassins.
Well, hold on. Before we
It's-
get to that,
hold on.
Okay.
So before in 1st edition, it was perfectly possible to play a viable 100% Sisters army that was well rounded enough to be a viable list on a table. We
Yep.
all agree there.
Yeah.
Yep.
2nd edition, not so much.
They still had the jet bikes and the dogs and stuff, but it was getting harder.
Now it feels like these exist purely to be an ally force, not their own standalone thing.
I'm going to throw up maybe a controversial statement, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so like I think they're really basically trying to get rid of them and force people to play female custodes.
I mean,
Yep.
it's just GW's thing. They've definitely included female models in the custodians. So if that's what they're wanting to do, I feel it kind of invalidates people's previous armies, and that just kind of sits.
I'm not saying
bit
it
dirty.
doesn't, but it's like we've seen the writing on the wall where basically Forge World models are gone.
Yeah,
and
that's
they
true.
had literally one plastic kit for the sisters, and they've they've shown no eagerness to expand that line at all.
Some people have said that the Sisters is kind of misogynistic because it's an entire group of women that can't talk. I've always said that actually makes them cooler to take a vow of silence, even in death. Some of the sisters never screamed or cried out. I thought that just made them cooler. But I've always wanted to do a Sisters of Silence army. Back to when Bulls made those conversions using the metal Phoenix Guard.
Yes, those were sweet looking.
I had plans to cast those up because I'd finally tracked a few down, and then Plastic Sisters came out and I bought a bunch of those. So yeah, it kind of sucks that every time I seem to buy up a bunch of stuff to make a Sisters army, something either kicks them in the junk or they just completely disappeared.
I mean, I think we could safely say that they're right now they are really just allied or like an allied force. You can't really.
It doesn't feel like a fully fleshed out army anymore.
Yeah,
it feels like something that specifically is intended to be included as I have this and some sisters.
Basically,
but what's weirder is they don't get the same rule as Skitarii got for joining Custodes. Remember, Skitarii said that you could take over 50% of your army if you were bringing them with the Mechanicum, but the sisters don't have that with Custodes. That would be a logical thing that you would see them with them, but they don't have it. And Janisha Kroll is a high command. The Knight Centura is a command. The sisters are a troop, and the transport is a transport. So if you're building an army, you can't even ally because Janisha Kroll is a high command.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, is that transport even available to purchase? Because I thought like it was like gone. Let's say for normal purchasing ability from.
I don't know. Honestly, I've never looked at it. Or not recently.
It is still on the website. It's temporarily out of stock for $175.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's been temporarily out of stock, I think, for a very long period of time.
Yep.
Like most of the Forge World tanks. So like, you can't even get it like legally. Is what I'm getting at.
No, I get that.
Maybe they're going to do a complete burn down and then come out with a Prospero book, and then we're going to have a Sisters army. I could hope.
It'll probably be a journal.
I would like to see something done to expand on the Sisters line as a whole, not just rules wise, but also miniatures wise. Because an entirely Sisters army in plastic or mixed plastic and resin, I think would be phenomenal to see on the tabletop. I think it would look great. Expanding the line of armies beyond just Marines, Custodes, mech, obviously is something I think is great. Obviously,
don't give the resort players hope.
The Solar Rocks and Militia as well. But throwing like the sisters in there, man, I just think that they deserve to be their own full army.
Yep.
And I think that they should be viable power level and unit-wise number comparatively to every other faction out there. And it's just my 2 cents. Jack is sitting there praying not to open his mouth, apparently, because he's sitting there like, I don't want to talk. I don't want to say what I want to say.
I can do the. Go ahead, Bram.
Can we unfuck demons next? I mean, like, dear God.
Yeah. Sisters and demons seem to be the redheaded stepchildren now.
Well, I mean, the sisters are busy counting the demons, so I mean, that kind of makes some sense.
Yeah. There's only a few changes to the assassins from the PDF. The first is the Calidus, went up 25 more points.
Okay.
You take them the same way as you did before. You know, you select a prime and then you get this allied detachment. So the Calidus is now 125 based. His Neural Shredder got a little worse. It went down to Strength 3 and went up to AP 3. Instead, it was AP 2 and Strength 4 before.
Nah, not a fan of that.
The Calexis Assassin gained Hatred Psychers, which kind of surprised you didn't have that before. And his bombs, which is a one-use item, limited 3, were a Flame 2 before. Now they're a Flame 2, Rending 6 up, Precision 6 up, Breaching 6 up.
Yay.
Eat that, Thousand Suns.
Okay. I mean,
there was one more final change. The Vanus Assassin, the one that screws with your reserves, was 125. It is now 105. And the thing that allows you to screw with their reserves, their aerial reserves, now specifically says that the opponent can choose the facing of the plane when it comes on for reserves. Before it was kind of implied. So this is a reaction called Off Spectre. It allows the reacting player to disrupt enemy flyer when it comes in from aerial reserves. Basically, you pick the point on the board where the plane comes in, instead of your opponent that owns the plane showing you where it's going to come in.
I didn't even remember the Vanus Assassin model, and I had to just look it up.
Yeah. It
It
has
has not
two.
been around for long.
No, it has two reactions. That's one of them. The other one allows you to suppress or pin a unit that revives from reserves with an intelligence check, or the unit that's being targeted.
Considering how reserves are right now, it's very whelming.
Yep.
Meh.
I think the Vindicare needed a points drop because you're not going to make his points back killing one model a turn. That's assuming your opponent rolls badly because his gun doesn't exactly kill people very well. The Eversur is, I mean, but that is all the changes. It's just those three changes for the Calidus, Klexus, and Vanus. But looking back at our coverage of all the assassins, the Exodus rifle for the Vindicare is only AP 2, or sorry, damage 2, AP nothing.
That's
But
odd.
if he doesn't move, he gains AP. His ordnance is AP, so
Okay. AP what on his ordinance?
it just says AP.
I
Yeah.
think
Double
they
check the
addressed
book.
that interaction in the rules book, but it's really weird.
Yeah, that one's one I don't remember encountering often.
Yeah, I didn't know what it meant, and I still don't know what it meant, and I will probably continue to not know meant.
Until
Either
someone
way, it's
explains
only a
it to you.
damage 2 pistol or damage 2 rifle with one shot. You're not killing enough people in the game to make back your 150 point model.
I mean, that's not even enough to drop a Centurion with one shot.
Right. I think it should be damage equal to target if it's ordnance.
I would be willing to. What's the strength on it?
7.
I would say at least damage 3, and I would say if AP 5, at least give it breaching 4. That would make sense at the very least. But ordnance
think-
AP, something we're all. I mean, none of us are remembering it, so
Yeah.
Or you could just take a Seeker Squad and they do the same thing, but far better.
Yeah, for less points.
And more ablative wounds.
Yeah. Like I said, the assassins are neat. If you want to take assassins, you can take assassins in your armies.
okay. I found the ordnance thing. If the
Okay.
characteristic is AP, then the AP is instead changed to AP2. So, okay. So if you stay
So-
still, it's AP2.
Yeah, I miss the old days when he had 4 different bullets and one of them was AP2 and ignored invulnerable saves.
I remember the bullet that was a shield breaker. It did no
Yep.
damage, but if you had invulnerable save, you lost your invulnerable save the rest of the game.
Yep.
That was nice.
It wasn't even that long ago.
I know.
Yeah. Probably the best ones are the Eversur or the Adamus. Those are the 2 combat-y ones where they can try to kill a bunch of shit in combat.
Yep. On
And
combat.
the Adamus works best when he's challenging somebody. The other thing that's weird is they put all the assassins in alphabetical order in the book. It's just
Okay.
odd when the PDF was not in alphabetical order. When I was trying to compare these 2 things, I had to keep flipping back and forth.
How many assassins do we have now? I mean, I know we've got the Calexis,
6.
the Evisor, the Vindicare, and the Calidus.
You got that.
There's
game-
Vanus?
the Vanus, which is the techie one, and the Venenum, which is the poison one.
And is the demon one in there?
No, the demon one is not. The other one is the Adamus, which is the one that looks like an old school ninja. He's got a blade and wearing sandals.
And that one's not in there either, correct?
He's in here, but he's not. No changes were done to him. He's the one that's
Okay.
decent at challenges.
Okay. Does the Evisor still detonate if he gets killed?
Yes,
Okay,
Yay.
good. That's
and
just
he
like-
can react to, or sorry, his gambit is to. He suffers automatic wounds if he misses to hit rolls.
Ooh, okay. That kind of fun, but I don't really see assassins that often. I don't think I
Yep.
saw a single one at Adepticon.
I didn't.
I took one in 2.0 because I thought, Storm Shadow, put one in there. Otherwise, I never ran them.
I mean, there's something neat to have around.
I like the fact that you can just take a prime buff and throw it into taking 3 assassins, and you're not limited to just one of each kind. You can take 3 of the same kind if you like to triple up on weird things.
Yeah,
The Calidus still has its whole cannot be shot until it attacks or charges, and if someone moves within 3 inches of it, they can take a intelligence check to try to shoot it.
so she's still got her polymorphine kind of thing.
Yeah, which is probably why they dropped the strength on her shredder
I think
and
the
made the AP
demon
not as good.
So you can't shoot her,
assassin
but can you
still
still
exists.
You can't shoot her, but can you still charge her, or can you not do that either now?
After you pass an intelligence check.
Okay.
After you come within 3 inches of her.
So that was always my way around it was I'm not going to shoot her, but I'm going to charge instead because charging is not forbidden. I like close combat. We all know that.
If she shoots or makes a charge, then that's gone for the rest. Also, the first thing she charges becomes stunned.
Oh, automatically, no roll?
Correct.
I like that.
And she's
Okay.
only 100 points, so throw a couple in there, start stunning people. She is purely loyalist, though, so I don't think you get to use her much.
What are you trying to say
The
there?
Demon Assassin was not in this book. This is purely loyalist book.
I would hope it would.
And we will cover Custodes next time. They got a lot of changes and not a lot of changes, depending on how you look at it.
I have very strong feelings about the Custodes.
As do a lot of people.
Okay, I want to hear Jack's feelings
I like
because I know
them.
he has some.
I like them, and I can't wait to maybe finally put together an army and play them and do the old shake and bake.
I do like the fact that they gained some new guns. I don't like the fact that they lost everything that Forge World made for them. It became a legacy unit, as well as the fact that they lost the axe, which technically they only gained in 2.0, and then that there's no weapon options for characters, really.
But all that stuff is what we will talk about next week.
Correct.
When we record episode 167.
And I'll record it from the top of my jetpack.
You will probably record it surrounded by custodians, is what I'm guessing.
Possibly. Possibly.
Okay. Well, should we talk about what our shout outs and everything else we need to discuss before we close it out tonight, guys?
Reminder that we've got events coming up in DFW, April 26th at Crimson Lion Games and May 17th at New World Gaming.
I've got dates for the two-day Michigan events. Whenever you guys are ready.
Go ahead.
Shoot.
So according to Jake Hauer, the dates for the Grand Rapids event in August are the 15th and the 16th. That's going to be at Far Harbor Games. I have no more information than that. I don't know if it's teams, the point sizes, anything like that, but that I'm sure will be announced on their Discord for Far Harbor Games. And I'm sure I'll get that info as it becomes relevant. The events that I am doing at Evolution Games in Lansing, Michigan is going to be October 10th and 11th. That is likely going to be 3,000 point games. It is also a 2-day, probably 2 rounds per day, with a likely buy-in of $60 for the 2-day event.
Okay.
ATC was announced for those in Alabama.
Isn't that held in
Sorry,
Tennessee?
Chattanooga, Tennessee. My bad. American
When is
Team Championships is going to be having a Heresy narrative event on Friday and Saturday, June 26th and 27th at the Chattanooga Convention Center in Chattanooga, Tennessee,
Cool.
held by our buddies Blake.
Cool.
So we got the Nova Open.
We do have the Nova Open run by our
Take-
buddy Ben.
Yep, Powerful Ben. It's Labor Day weekend this year, September 2nd through the 6th. Tickets just went on sale like this weekend. I don't think the hotel book or blocks had opened up. I may be wrong. I don't think they've announced the hotel block yet, but yeah. Ben's, I know he's working on a ton of terrain for a bunch of different systems right now. So
Yep. And they're running a lot of Horus Heresy events at Nova. So I
Very
think
good
there's
Did
a
y'all talk
lot of
about
slots open.
the Dethroned dates for next year? Last show,
we did.
April
did.
7th to the 11th, 2027.
Yeah, it
360 days to Adepticon.
It moved because of Easter.
Yep.
Where Easter falls, and they moved it 2 weeks later.
I'm also going to give a shout out to the guys up in Bolters at Dawn in Cincinnati, Ohio. They have their May 9th game going on. It's currently Zone Mortalis, 1,500 points limit. Obviously, you have to have, or they're doing it to kind of an escalation way, so you only have to have 750 points of it painted. But that one's going to be May 9th at their hobby hangout thing that's above a bar. I will post information about that on the Discord as soon as I can find their address, because I can't find it right this second.
There's the was it Palm Springs Classic, formerly the Palm Springs Open, July 18th and 19th in Palm Springs, California. We have the links to that in the Discord.
I also know that our friends up in Indiana at the Battle Barn, they're going to be running an event sometime soon.
Yep.
They have not put out the information on that yet, but that will be coming. I'd expect that to be in May or June, the next round of their narrative. And that's always a good time. And maybe Jack and I can actually get up there this time.
That would be
I want to try to get down there.
super sweet to go play a full game of third edition.
I know
One
that
year.
they'd be ecstatic to have you all.
Yeah, I know. I know we'd be excited to go up there. Other than that, I will say that starting this week on Wednesday nights in the Hobby Hangout, I'll be working on Ultramarines. Yay!
We won, Jack. We won.
I'm so happy I could poop right now.
Duncan, did you see my suggestion for 150 Patreons?
I did.
I'm sorry. So if we're gonna do this, what's the next challenge? No. What is your suggestion?
Well, to torture John, we do an all-female custodes army that he has to build and paint, and the tanks and dreads all have to have like waifu anime girl decals. And those
I
are
told you if that happened, I would make Gabe's Crimson Fists look like an army you would take to a normal store.
I was thinking we should torture Jack.
I think we also suggested that John couldn't you put any transfers on him too.
See, I was thinking we should torture Jack and make him paint word bearers, and not word bearers with piles of tarantulas, but like active, like decent word bearers.
And he has to take care of
I
us?
thought I could build my own list.
No, you can't. You can't build something that includes more than 2 tarantulas, because
He has to take Erebus.
Oh yeah, he has to take Erebus,
That's in the list.
along with like 27 tarantulas. That's not a list. That's
technically
that's
speaking,
tarantulas and Erebus.
by third edition rules, that is a list.
That is tarantulas and Erebus. It's not a
Technically
viable
speaking, which as we all
Which is
know
the
here
most-
is the
It's the
form
best
of
kind
correct.
Yeah.
Technically speaking, that is a valid army list in this edition.
Yeah, it is. We will
Te-
figure something up for the next challenge
Technically.
to torture another cast member because it ain't gonna be me this time.
I don't even know what you could do to torture me.
See,
I have ideas.
Health.
You would have to be able to bench press 150 pounds again while weighing more than 150 pounds yourself.
Well, I weighed myself in at 177.7 at the endo on Thursday, so we got that part down, and I might be able to actually bench press 150.
No, not going to work for a challenge then. We'll have to figure something else out. But something that's going to involve you sticking around and having a long and happy life. We need to do that.
That is cruel and torturous.
See? There you go.
I'm there with you.
John gets it.
well, I
Other
think
than
at this
that-
point, we need to start walking out that door for our
Yeah,
world famous Irish goodbye. So, John,
Thank you, everybody, for joining us on this, the 166th episode of the Heresy Accountability Buddies Podcast. I'm John, and I've been joined by
Brian.
Duncan.
Jack,
And Jamie.
And always remember to stay accountable to yourselves, to your buddies, and your hobby. And thanks, everybody, for staying with us as we record with Jack on the road.
yay!
Bye.
Night all.
There you go.
Like and subscribe and